to Tea and a Butty. It's a scary podcast. Anyway, welcome back to Tea and a Butty podcast. I'm Dominic.
And I'm Erica.
And as you might have guessed, this is going to be our top 3 scary films, isn't it?
Yes.
Films.
Yeah. In honor of Halloween.
Because Halloween, it's today. It's today.
It's not today.
It's tomorrow.
It's not tomorrow.
Is it? It's the other day.
It's Saturday.
It was yesterday.
It's
Saturday. Saturday night's all right. And apparently you can't go trick-or-treating, so you're in here listening to us.
Yeah. I think
because we are the only medium left now.
Yeah.
No, you can't watch TV.
I said yeah. I don't know why.
You said yeah.
Yeah.
We're the only ones who are providing entertainment to everybody in the world now. Especially in America. America just sits by their laptops all night saying, Tea and a Buddy podcast is going to be a good one tonight. So yeah, here we go.
Jeez.
Yeah, scary films.
Yeah. Not
really my genre. I mean, slasher, horror, what's it, thriller, I guess you'd say?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not, like, easily scared, shall we say.
Although
what?
I forced him to watch Halloween with me the other night.
Yes.
And you did jump. And we were watching it, and it went...
Boo!
And you jumped, so, yeah. You were scared.
Yes, I was very scared. I mean, that kind of stuff. I mean, you know, like, just the kind of, like, you know...
I mean, that's...
You know, like, it's kind of like,
It startles you
it
rather
startles,
than scares you.
It's like, oh, it's gonna get me, oh, you know, I'm not that kind of person. I mean, I know there's people out there that enjoy a good, gory slasher fic, you know, with all those, like, you know...
Yeah, I don't know why.
It's
I'm not
just like,
into them for that reason.
I mean, you know, the people, it's just like, you know, like Saw, I guess you'd call that a slasher.
I don't know if it's a slasher.
Psycho was, like, apparently the first kind of, like, slasher
film.
Flick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Saw, I would say that was more of, like, a psychological...
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, although it was gory from what I can remember.
Yeah, I just don't really see the appeal. I mean, I guess I'm more into kind of like maybe romantic comedies, maybe action-adventure films.
Yeah.
The horror genre, it's just never really vampires, you know. I was never... Scary stuff, it's not really my scene, you know. Not really my bag, mate.
I was never really into horror. Like, I never got into monster flicks. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I never really...
Frankenstein.
So I was definitely
that,
more into, like, the more realistic, in quotation marks.
Realistic, mate.
Like, someone's gonna get you kind of thing, you
Someone's
know?
Gonna get you.
Like
Someone's gonna
slasher.
Get you.
But I'm definitely not in... Well, I don't know if I could consider myself into them now. Anyway, but definitely when I was, like, in high school, I guess... I went through a period where I was into scary movies, you know, whatever.
Scream and all that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of like a funny film, though, isn't it?
Those
it's
were
like
very
it's
clever.
parodying.
We'll get into them, but there was a period where I was into scary movies. Not so much anymore. I think my genre now, if someone asked me what's my favorite genre, I'd probably say period dramas. I will take
loves the period dramas.
Any period, it does not matter as long as it's not now. I'm there. I'm watching it.
Well, I think it has to be like 60s and earlier. Yeah. 70s, 80s, 90s.
Yeah,
it doesn't
true.
really interest you.
Although we watch Stranger Things. And
that's kind of that's a period drama, I guess. You know.
I mean, is it?
I call you that? Yeah.
I don't know if that's the correct genre for that, but yeah, I
nostalgia.
Don't know. And I definitely was never into slasher films or like thriller type things for the gore. The gore can just go. I'm in for the suspense.
Suspense.
You know what I mean?
Suspense.
Yeah.
That's what it's called.
The suspense is what is what I get into.
The suspense. I mean, I guess so. Yeah, I mean,
because I think it builds your adrenaline. It's a little bit of the same type of feeling that, like, yeah, I would imagine jumping out of a plane or, you know, bungee jumping or something like that gives you
exhilaration.
Yeah,
that exhilaration.
Get your heart pumping. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Like, you know, I mean, I always refer to the first episode of the last season of Game of Thrones. For you know, like, my heart's going. Yeah. I don't know what's going to happen. What's going to happen? Oh my gosh. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
You know, and
yeah, that kind of thing. That's what I like.
Yeah. I mean, we've got a top 3.
So before we get started,
we get into that,
let us know what your top 3 favorite scary movies are. Even if you're like me and you're not, or like Dominic, you're not really super. Oh God, there's so many.
And there's so many of like one franchise. Like Halloween there's like 6 movies, isn't it?
Yeah. So I wonder if you pick like the whole franchise, or if there's one specific one out of all of them. You know?
Yeah.
Because I think there's a load of Saw movies now too.
Oh yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Final Destination.
Yeah.
There was Scream.
It's like people get into those things, like zombie things. I think there's.
Well, they made a lot of money, and then it's just like, oh, okay, we'll just make another one, and it's just kind of like I don't know, it's very kind of like plot light. If you want to, if I can say, you know, if I say that, you know.
Yeah.
It's like there's not much of a plot to these films. Oh, girl lives in house, guy lives in house, and someone's trying to get them, or something weird's happening, and, you know, it's like, what is it? It's like,
there's not a lot of. I mean, there's a plot. I think that's. There's not a lot of character development.
Not a lot of character development. That's it. That's the one. But at the end of there's plot, but it's like it's very kind of a weak one.
Yeah.
It's the same. It's the same for every one of them. You know, Halloween. It was kind of like, oh, this guy's a mental case and he's escaped and he's coming to get you all.
Yeah.
And it's like. And it's obviously this girl he's gonna get, you know, he's trying to get Jamie Lee Curtis and he doesn't get her, so he'll probably get her in the next film.
This is a wide genre. You know. Like we could have broken this up into 3 favorite thrillers, 3 favorite slasher films, 3 favorite monster films.
Yeah.
I also, just now as you were talking, thought if we had thought ahead of time, we could have made this a 2-parter. Like, what are your 3
Halloween
favorite
2.
ones? And then what are the 3 worst ones you've ever seen?
Oh,
because there are some terrible scary movies.
Well, I mean, a lot of them were like, you know, there was no budget to them.
Well,
really.
Yeah, the early ones.
The early ones, you know, like the traditional horror films. You know, like, but there's ones they're obviously all cult classics now.
There's one that I cannot.
Like Halloween's a cult classic.
I'm thinking now, about one with Keanu Reeves. Oh, jeez, what was it? Oh my God, it was terrible. It was so bad.
The Matrix, wasn't it?
Some scary movie with him in. I don't know. Anyway, let's get on to the list. You do your top
I'll do
3
mine,
first.
because I kind of had to kind of come up with stuff that I'd seen as a kid.
Oh, anyway, let us know. Let us know on social media your 3 favorite scary
Let us
movies.
know.
We're just curious.
We love to know.
Yeah.
These are the ones that I saw as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
The Amityville Horror from 1979. That became another franchise. I think it was Amityville 2. And
that was based on a book.
It's based on a book, but apparently it was based on a real experience. Yeah. So that was kind of like, that was one that I remember seeing as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
A young couple purchase a home and it's haunted by like supernatural poltergeist forces.
Oh, yeah.
And it's the alleged experiences of the Lutz family who bought a new home in Amityville, New York, where a mass murder had been committed the year before.
Yeah.
So, you know, there was a mass murder there and, you know, the ghosts are still haunting it. So, you know, it's like, oh, you know, we've got to get out of this house. And I found that, you know, oh, that's pretty cool. You know, I like that one.
I've never seen it. And
yeah, so I think I've only seen the first film.
I had the book that I think had used to belong to my mom, or I don't know how I ended up having it, but I had some friends over one night when I was like in high school, and one of them took it. One of them was like, "Can I borrow this book?" And they never returned it, so I never got to read it.
And they died.
It was
it was like,
Yeah, you know how someone's had something for so long, it's a bit awkward then to go, oh, can I get that back? You know?
Yeah, can I get that back? No.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know, you feel awkward. So, yeah, I don't know. I had just had that on my bookshelf in my, like, list of books that, you know, I needed to read, and I hadn't gotten to it yet, and they borrowed it, because I let them borrow it, because, you know, I hadn't read it yet, and never got it back. I've never seen that movie. But now apparently I need to see it if it's on your list of scariest ones.
Yes.
I think my mom said it's pretty scary. Yeah,
it's pretty cool. Yeah, I like it. It's cool. It's pretty scary.
Yeah.
The next one, Fright Night. I saw this as a kid too.
I've never seen that either.
I mean, these all came on around Halloween. You know, I remember the Halloween, Fright Night. You know.
Yeah.
It's from 1985. There's like this 17-year-old kid who's a fan of horror films.
Yeah.
And he's a fan of this TV show that's fronted by like a vampire hunter called Fright Night.
Oh, yeah.
And he discovers his next door neighbor is an actual vampire.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
You know, he's biting all the kids at school, and he's got all these victims, and they're turning into vampires and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You know, and I thought, oh, it's pretty cool, you know. You know. I mean, I keep calling it cool, because really it was... You know, I don't really find that kind of stuff scary.
Yeah.
For some weird reason, you know, it's just like, oh, you know, I'm not really scared of vampires or anything like that. As a kid, I was never like, you know, my friends were always, oh, you should watch the Amityville. Oh, you should watch it. Oh, okay, I'll watch it. Okay, yeah, I watched it. It was good. You know? Like,
yeah, I mean,
I don't know, you know, I was into other things, you know.
I went through a vampire phase. Like, I was very into Bram Stoker's Dracula, the book, and then the, Keanu Reeves is in that one, actually.
Keanu Reeves!
The film, and, oh God, what's his name? Gary Oldman?
Gary Oldman.
Yeah, he was Dracula in that. It was so good. I was like, oh yeah, Dracula. He looks
Gary
so good.
Oldman.
When he's young, not when he's old. If you've seen that film, you know what I'm talking about. And Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Oh
my
Lord!
Super
I remember.
into that.
I mean, I remember all the girls at school were into that.
Angel.
A couple
then
of
the spin-off
friends,
was Angel.
Friends who were really into Buffy the Vampire Slayer and thought they were slaying vampires and all that kind of stuff. I remember that. I was just like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I was super into all of that. Huh? Okay, I've never heard of Fright Night. I've never seen that.
I think they did. I think they did a Fright Night too, and I think they did a remake.
Was it meant to be like scary, or was it like more for kids type of thing?
It was meant to be. It was meant to be scary. I think.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like a cult classic again. You know, all these like you know, like they made like a parody of Scream called Scary Movie, and they made that a franchise.
Yeah,
it's like
yes.
I don't really see the appeal of it to like generate more movies, because it's the same thing over and over again. I mean, I guess you could say that about any movie.
Yeah.
But it's like, are you really that invested in the characters, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
The last one on my list is The Exorcist.
Oh, yeah.
The Exorcist.
Yeah.
The Exorcist. Yeah.
The Exorcist.
The
Exorcist.
How was I saying it? The Exorcist? The Exorcist.
Exorcist.
Yeah, that's what it's called. I can't remember the exorcism, you know.
Exorcism.
Like exercise. Exercising.
Oh my God, you've been in Texas too long.
Exercising. I'm exercising.
Yeah, this is a classic.
It's a classic. It's probably the most well known, because I remember, you know, it's very, very powerful imagery in that, you know.
You know what? I don't know if I've ever seen
it.
Beginning to end.
I got the DVD. That's you know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I've got. That's probably the only horror film I have on DVD.
That's weird. How can someone who's like, oh, I don't like scary movies. Oh, let me buy The Exorcist.
For some reason, I thought it was good. So I thought, oh, that's a good film. You know, the way they shot it. It was very like. It was made in 1973. You know, there's a possessed child, played by Linda Blair.
Yeah.
And there's two priests, and they perform an exorcism.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, Mike Oldfield's Tubular Bells is the theme, you know.
Yeah. The classic scene in it where her head spins around and she spews bile.
But that being said, I mean, honorary mention has to go to The Shining. I really like that film too.
Oh yeah,
That's a good one.
That's another classic.
Yeah. The Shining and The Exorcist are probably my two favorites.
Yeah.
The end. I mean, I've got Fright Night, and I probably replace Fright Night with The Shining, actually, because Fright Night's, it's just something I remember.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I mean, sometimes that's what makes the list, though. It's just
the original 1980 version with Jack Nicholson, obviously.
It's just whatever you associate it for. Yeah, I mean, we're not movie critics here. It's just like we're not trying to make like
we're Siskel and Ebert. That's what we are.
We're not trying to make like the ultimate list of the absolute best made, horror films or scary movies or whatever.
Yes,
it's just like just our favorites, our personal favorites for whatever reason that is. Yeah, that's so funny that you would go by The Exorcist.
I definitely got it myself.
Yeah.
I didn't get given it or anything, Get given it,
Yeah.
That's my Texas slang coming through right there.
I didn't get given it.
I didn't get given it. No, I didn't.
Yeah. So that's your list?
That's my list.
Yeah.
Feel free to critique it as you wish.
Yeah. Do you agree with Dominic's
Do you agree with
favorites?
my top 3 favorites? Do you like them?
Mine are
Let me know.
Mine are going to be in no particular order because I don't really think I can rank them. And these are just sort of the first 3 that came to mind.
Yeah.
So take that for what it's worth. It's possible that it could change if I put,
more thought
into it. But...
Well, yeah, like just right now, I was like, oh, The Shining. Why didn't I put that on the list?
Yeah.
Could have replaced Fright Night with that because, Fright Night was just something I saw as a kid and it was like, oh, it was quite good,
Yeah. Okay, so my first one is Psycho.
Psycho!
Because you can't really beat Psycho,
No, you can't really,
It's like,
can
it's
you?
Alfred Hitchcock. It's in black and white. It's like, it's just eerie and weird. It's a pretty quiet film, really.
Norman Bates, yeah, he's the classic.
Yeah, it's pretty quiet. And really, they don't show a lot in it. As far as like violence or any of that goes.
Well, no, I mean for the time it was very, very like, oh, this is too much. 1960 moviegoers,
Just the fact that she's in the shower and we got a flash of belly button or something.
She showed her belly button. The people in those
she's
days
in the
were
shower.
still.
We know she's naked. What I mean? That was what it was about.
It was very much she was in the shower. You got a flash of belly button or whatever.
Yeah.
But in those days, it was still a scandal to show for a woman to show her ankles.
In the 60s.
1960, it was. Yes, it was. It's like if a woman was showing her ankles, she was, there's something going on
That's
here.
a Victorian era.
No, it wasn't. It was actually, before that. Georgian era, I think. So yeah, 1960. But I mean, I'm talking about over here, too. Where everything is like 200 years behind the times.
Fighting talk.
Oh, fighting talk. Yeah. Get your 6-shooter Chevins up there, partner.
6-shooter Chevins.
That's what you say.
Who are you? Get out.
Ah! Hate that.
But yeah, this is another. If you follow us on social media, you'll know that I was watching this again the other night. During Halloween, I like to watch the scary movies that come on, just whatever. Like, we don't really own any scary movies that I can think of. Like thriller type films, maybe.
We own the entire Sex and the City series. That's a scary movie.
It is kind of scary, actually.
Carrie Bradshaw.
Harry Potter.
Carrie! There you go, Carrie. Carrie Bradshaw.
Yeah.
Carrie Bradshaw, yeah, she was named after Carrie, the psycho.
Carrie's one that...
I've seen that one. I actually found Carrie boring.
I've seen it. I never really got super into it. I tried to watch... Apparently they made a remake with Julianne Moore, like, I guess not that many years ago. And what's that name? What's that girl's name? Chloe Moretz?
Oh, I have no idea.
Something, yeah. Yeah, that was on television the other night. I was working while it was on, so I wasn't paying that much attention. But I was just like... I saw Carrie, and I was like, oh, yeah, I'll watch this. I haven't seen it in years, and then it was, like, a remake. Whatever. Anyway, Psycho. Yeah, Psycho's a classic. You can't beat it. The shower scene. But again, you just see the knife coming down. You don't ever see the knife go into her.
No, you see the blood.
You see some blood, like, in the shower.
And it looks black because it's in black and white anyway, so.
Yeah. But that's about as violent as it really gets. You don't... Yeah. Most of it is more like just...
thematic.
Psychological. Yeah. Like, just what you can imagine, is happening.
It's like, oh, she got slashed.
And then he does such a great job at just being so super creepy. I've seen the Psycho, the Bates Motel and the house. If you take I don't know if they still show it, actually. That was a really long time ago that I took that tour. But if you take the Universal Studios tour, you'll have seen the original, like, sets or the outside anyway. Number 2 on my list. Number 2. And these are not in any particular order in my top 3. Number 2. Oh, what is it now? I've forgotten which one I was going to say. Halloween. Halloween, yeah. The original one with Jamie Lee Curtis. And the funny thing is I've seen that movie so many times that it's just absolutely not scary anymore.
Well, it's just a classic, yeah,
Yeah, it's a classic, and it's I find it funny.
The Return of Michael Myers.
I kind of laugh and talk all the way through it, as, again, if you follow us on social media, when I was forcing Dominic to watch it with me the other night, I just kind of commentate the whole time. I was just like, why is she running upstairs? Why is she doing that? This is so...
That's the classic thing of, like, that's the trope of scary movies. Yeah, it's like, oh, why are they running... not out of the... Why did they run out of the house? Why didn't they go there? Why didn't they go this way? Why didn't they get a gun and shoot the guy? Why didn't they get a knife and stab the guy? It's like the guy's moving so slowly, it's like he's easily disarmed or whatever.
And that was another thing I was noticing, actually, because I've seen, of course, I think all of the Halloween films.
Yeah.
But in that one, he did move a little bit faster. He kind of slowed down a bit in the
Return of Michael Myers. Yeah, I mean, well, he'd been shot. I mean, that's the thing. He had, like, she stuck a knitting needle in his neck. Then, like, bashed him on the head, like, several times with, like, an iron or something. Wasn't it?
No, she stabbed him. He dropped his knife when she stuck.
Oh, and she stabbed him.
Yeah,
and then Donald Pleasance came in and shot him.
Yeah.
And
he falls out the window.
Yeah.
And he's gone. But he's like, oh, the shooting him. I mean, he didn't shoot him in the head, so maybe he was wearing, like, a bulletproof vest.
Maybe.
Did they have that in 1978? I don't know.
Yeah, they must have done. I think they've had bulletproof vests since the 50s.
Yeah, I guess so. But yeah, no, the hilarious thing is she stabs him. I don't know if she stabbed him several times, but she stabs him once. He falls down.
Yeah.
And then she's just, like, sitting in the doorway, like, just panting and catching her breath and everything.
And then she tells the kids, bolt upright then,
She tells the kids, oh, get out, go scream and run to the neighbors and, which they do. And then she just like, oh, I'll just sit now and rest in the doorway.
One of whom...
I have no idea whether he's actually dead. I stabbed him once, and so he must be dead, but it's just like, yeah, get out of the house. What are you doing?
Yeah, she just said, yeah.
So of course he comes and strangles her. And
and then that's when
Sam Loomis.
Dr. Loomis, your buddy. I think he was only in like 4 of them, wasn't he?
I don't know. He was in a few, I think. I'm not sure exactly.
Yeah, because I mean, there's been 6 or something, isn't there?
Oh God, there were a lot. Yeah.
Halloween 5,
There was one that was just absolutely crazy that they made in the 90s. That was like
disregarded everything.
The curse of Michael Myers or something. It was weird. I don't know.
Is that Michael Myers wasn't in it?
I never watched. I've seen that one once, and I never watch it when it comes on. The music of that, though.
Yes. Just reminds me of that level of Mario.
The music just winds you up, hypes you up, and gets you ready, It's like, the music is really what makes the whole thing scary.
Yes.
If you took the music away and it was just quiet, I don't know, maybe if it was totally quiet, it might be scary, but... The music really takes it to the next level in that movie for me. That's just a classic. You can't you can't beat that one.
No, you can't.
And then my last one is purely nostalgic, and that's the Scream. The first Scream.
For Neve Campbell.
Yeah.
Give it up for Neve Campbell, everybody.
I like...
Courtney Cox was in that film too, wasn't she?
Yeah. She was the reporter. She was reporting because Neve Campbell's mother had been killed a few years prior. And so she was a reporter and she wrote a book. She got famous off of that murder. It was like the Hillsborough murder or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's just, they make a lot of fun
of the genre. So, but the thing is, that's why
it's a clever movie.
The Scary Movie franchise didn't really need to be made because it was making fun of Scream, which was making fun of the whole
the
genre anyway.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, no, I totally agree. It was basically just a remake of Scream in like a stupid kind of way. I'm sorry if you're a fan of those movies, but
yeah.
The Scream films I thought were very clever. Yeah, and so totally did not need to be made into Scary Movie. It's like, what are you doing? They were making fun of themselves from the
I remember watching that. Yeah. That was good. Yeah.
The second one is probably just as good. The third one I can't really remember. Somebody was posting about Scream 3 the other day, and I was just like, oh. I looked up I know what it was. It was on Instagram. We asked you guys, what are your favorite scary movies? So some of you have already told us your scary movies. Actually, I'll pull it up now. And somebody said Scream 2, I think. And
I think I've seen them all.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think maybe I made you watch them because I have all 3 of them.
I mean, I've seen the first one back when it came out, and then that was good enough for me. I didn't need to see the second one because I was like, what, is someone going to get killed in it again?
No, the second one was good because it was more of the same, but they built on it and there was like a twist. But the third one, when I looked it up, the movie poster or whatever that goes along with it, I was like, I do not remember. And I have it, but obviously maybe I didn't think it was as good as the first 2 because I cannot remember what happens in it. So I'm kind of thinking maybe Scream Marathon here in, another day or so. But yeah, just really quickly, since I know we asked you guys at the start of this, but some of you have already told us your favorite movie, not your top 3, but your favorite movie on Instagram. So maybe we'll just kind of flip through these really quickly with you guys. And
let's see what the people of Instagram say.
You can let us know what you think. Someone says The Legend of Hell House and The Exorcist. So
Legend of Hell House, never seen it.
I know, I've never heard of it. I don't know. Someone says The Ring.
Seen that.
Yeah.
Which comes out the TV. That was pretty good. Yeah.
It was creepy anyway. I can't really remember like specifics of it other than her coming out of the TV and it was creepy. Someone else says The Birds, which I have never seen. Never seen it, unfortunately. It's a classic. Everybody talks about it.
The Birds I've definitely seen. Yeah.
You have, yeah.
That it's not scary. It's more just like it's a Hitchcock film.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of like, why are all these birds getting her? I can't remember. I can't remember what happens in the film, but I do remember the bits where the birds get her.
Yeah.
And I was just kind of like, yeah, what?
Every time we like have to run an errand like in the evening and we go to Walmart or the grocery store or
the birds get us.
Or some big parking lot where there's a lot of trees, the birds are just going absolutely crazy. I don't know if they do that where you guys live. Like
they're in the trees
dusk.
And they're just grackling.
It's like dusk, right?
Cackling.
They're screaming, they're screeching, they're chirping, they're going crazy, they're flying all around. You look at the trees and there's like 1 billion of them in one tree. Like,
they're not social distancing, these birds.
All you can see.
Told them before.
You can see more birds than you can see actual leaves in the trees, which is crazy. And I always think of the Birds movie, even though I've never seen it. Someone says Hush.
Hush,
I don't know.
little baby, don't you
and
cry.
I was thinking The Quiet Place with Emily Blunt and John Krasinski, which you and I did watch that.
Sandra Bullock was in The Quiet Place, wasn't she?
No, that was what was it?
Bird Box.
Bird Box.
That was a scary film too.
That was scary. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Emily Blunt and John Krasinski.
You remember that when they couldn't say anything? They had to be quiet because these like creatures. I think it was a little bit sci-fi-ish.
Yeah, I mean,
these creatures were after noise. They were attracted to sound, so you had to be like.
If you
really
said something, they zoned in on you.
If you made any kind of something dropped or donked into things, So that's what I was thinking, but that's not what this is. There's a guy in a really creepy mask. I don't know what it's about.
Guy in a really creepy mask. That's all you need to know about horror films.
Someone says Scream 2, which I agree, love it. Someone sent laughing faces and said it's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown.
Now,
it's about
I've heard that's violent.
Shut up.
It's been cancelled from ABC for all its violence and gory stuff. God.
But yeah, I can definitely relate. Yeah, it's a Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown. It's like, sometimes you don't want something scary, you just want something cute, you know. Yeah. The Haunting.
Oh, I think I've seen that
with
too.
With Liam Neeson
and Catherine Zeta-Jones. Yes, I think I've seen that.
They move into a house, don't they? I think I replied to this person on Instagram and said that I didn't think I'd ever seen it, but I do think I've seen it. I just don't really remember much about it. My dad and stepmom were really into scary movies, like particularly when I was like a teenager. So anytime I was with them, we were watching
I vaguely remember seeing this one too.
And I feel like I've seen all the scary movies. But I don't remember them all, obviously. Somebody else says Event Horizon.
I've heard of that, but I don't think I've ever seen it.
Lawrence Fishburne? Yeah, I don't...
And Sam Neill.
I don't know. Yeah, it looks more like the movie poster for it looks more like a sci-fi film.
Yeah.
I mean, not that can't be scary too. The Shining.
The Shining, classic.
Classic. Somebody else says all zombie movies. Don't have a particular favorite.
Yeah, zombies. Yeah,
I never really got into zombies.
Yeah, that's
vampires. Yes, zombies. No.
Not a big zombie head.
Yeah, I replied to that one. The closest I've come with zombies is the White Walkers in Game of Thrones. I guess they're technically zombies.
I mean, Shaun of the Dead kind of makes fun of the genre.
I never saw it.
I saw that, but I saw Hot Fuzz. Hot Fuzz was better.
Is Hot Fuzz a scary movie? You could say that's a scary movie, I guess.
I mean, I guess so. I'm a slasher of prices. Timothy Dalton's good in that.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I think that'll do us.
Yeah.
Let us know what you guys are doing for Halloween, if anything. If you're on lockdown, or if you've got kids, are you going to take them trick-or-treating? Are you going to
Are you just going to throw candy at them?
Yeah.
Have you bought candy?
Yeah, have you bought candy?
Because we're on a sugar detox until November 1st.
Yeah.
So we can't eat candy.
We've got some candy to pass out, but I really don't expect anybody, so... We live where it's
We're
really
expecting
dark
Borat.
Anyway, so
He'll turn up.
Oh my god, yeah.
In his subsequent movie film.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We really appreciate it. If you have not already, enter our giveaway.
Because it's coming close to the deadline, which is November 12th.
Well, the deadline is actually November 10th. So
November 10th.
We'll announce the winner on November 12th. Oh, yeah. So, just, that's it. Do all the things.
Yeah, and you know what that means, don't you? Add us and like us and all that kind of stuff.
Thank you so much for listening. We appreciate your support, and we will talk to you next time.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Ooh.
That was really...
It wasn't. It was very scary. You were creeped out, weren't you? Yeah, they were all creeped out, man.
Oh my God.
It was very creepy.